What's up, everybody? Alec here from Greater Athens Properties, and today I have joining me Kurt Spell, an agent here at our office, and DJ Bobfish, a local artist. Kurt, would you open up the window and tell us about yourself?
Hey, Alec, thanks for having me. My name's Kurt Spell. I've been a real estate agent since 2005. I moved here from Valdosta, Georgia in 2003. We lived in Athens from 2003 until 2014. My wife and I have two little girls, 11 and 8, and been selling real estate since 2005.
Yeah, that's cool. My girlfriend and I moved from Valdosta. We're from South Georgia, so we know the area.
Yeah.
Bob, hit us with it, man.
Yeah.
Tell us what you got going on.
Yeah, I'm DJ Bobfish. Been living here for about 3.5 years. I finished my undergrad with a Bachelor of Science in Biological Sciences this past May. But I've been working real closely for the last few years with Volumes Hip Hop. There's an entity that kind of runs the hip hop scene here. Not entirely, but got a pretty good hold on it.
Yeah.
And then I also work with the bass music scene, the electronic music scene here in Athens. And it's really where the bulk of my time goes,
Yeah. Really quick, I mean, you're obviously working here with me at the office.
Yeah.
Outside of DJing, where are you at nowadays?
Yeah, so right now I'm kind of working part-time at TP Dough, just delivering calzones. And that in combination with my gigs, kind of it's what I do, for a living.
The calzone is like a borderline necessary service. What were they calling it during COVID? Essential services?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I was
we were essential workers, I think they considered us.
Absolutely.
Yeah, pizza guys are essential. Yeah. I was a cell phone guy. I was essential.
Yeah.
I didn't think they were that important, but they, turns out they are. Real quick, anything that y'all have coming up you're playing at that everybody should know about?
We just wrapped all of our shows up for the year.
Yeah.
Yes, I actually did not make the last gig. It was in South Carolina at a bar over there. I don't even know the name of the bar, actually. But we are going into the studio in February working on new material.
Ooh.
So actually right now we don't have any gigs going.
Yeah.
But I think we've done about around 30 last year. Or this year.
Congrats.
Right.
Bob and I were talking about it before the podcast, and we had seen that you were performing with two really local legends from our community of Waycross, Uncle Dave Griffin and the Pine Box Dwellers.
Yeah, man. Pine Box Dwellers, they're awesome. Uncle Dave is too. I mean, that's his son plays drums.
Yeah. Connor Griffin.
Yeah.
I was in marching band with him.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that was the Swamp Town Get Down. It was great.
Yeah,
Yeah, man.
That's right.
Great venue.
The Swamp Town Get Down's really fun if you're, I don't know, from any part of Georgia, even like North Florida. It's really easy to get there because, I mean, you're 30 minutes from the line.
Right.
Yeah.
It's really fun for anybody who hasn't been. I've been, I don't know, probably the better part of like 7 or 8 times.
Yeah.
Whenever I was living
Waycross?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, whenever I was living in Waycross, yeah.
Yeah. I'm from Jessup, so.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
So I'm right down the road, so that was pretty close to my hometown.
Best drive-in in the state.
Yeah.
Best drive-in movie theater in the state. It's so much fun going
It's
to
like
that.
one of the last 2 or 3, I think. But yeah, it is. It's a really good one.
Did you go to school here, Kurt? Or?
I did not. I graduated from Valdosta.
Yeah. You moved here from Valdosta.
I did.
What'd you major in?
I did public relations.
Cool.
Yeah. I came to Athens with my wife, Casey, was my girlfriend at the time. She had gone to Valdosta for 2 years, and she wanted to finish up here. So I graduated and came to Athens.
What was like the first job you had here?
I worked for Burton and Burton.
What's that?
They were, it was Flowers Incorporated Balloons. She was the lady who invented the Mylar balloon with the saying, you know, the phrases on them, happy birthday, whatever.
Oh, for real?
Mm-hmm. They're from here. They were amazing story that they have. And I moved up here without a job, and I got a sales job with them.
Mm-hmm.
And they're a really great company to be, it's part of the introduction into Athens for me, and the business part of it. And it allowed me to stay here, and it was a great opportunity for me.
Yeah. Do you think the sales experience like translated pretty well to whenever you started selling homes?
Sure, it helped. I've been around that type of element pretty much my whole life. My parents, my brothers, everything. So yeah, it was I guess natural place for me to be.
Yeah.
And I got my real estate license in 2005. And I continued working at Burton & Burton, and then I quit in 2006.
Yeah.
And
It's been
tough time. It was.
Yeah, I know you picked a hell of a time to quit, huh?
I did.
One of the big questions on here is, and everybody's probably bound to talk about it at some point, is how did COVID affect your work, your ability to play music in public? I mean, how did that go out for you? How did it work out for you, Bob?
Yeah, I mean, whenever COVID had happened, so I had a big surgery the November before.
I remember that.
Yeah, November of 2019. And so I had like 6-8 weeks that I was out, that I couldn't do anything. So up to that point, I was doing a bunch of gigs, and then after that, and it was kind of holiday season, everything was kind of winding down. And then whenever I had finished my recovery, there was one place that I had a residency at that I had kind of taken a break from for all of that.
Yeah.
And they had told everybody that basically that the way that all the artists were getting paid was going to change, and then there were going to be less artists and all this and that. And it kind of seemed like, at least from my perspective, that there were a lot of businesses, at least that were hosting like our types of events, that were kind of doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And then COVID happened and everything shut down. And so like it was interesting to see how everything moved to streaming,
Yeah.
And I did a bunch of live streams in 2020.
A lot of bands did.
Yeah, they were pretty cool. It's neat now after the fact how a lot of those entities that were doing live streams are now implementing them in like live shows and stuff.
Yeah, 100 Gex, they had a show, I don't know, I think it was like a week and a half ago.
Yeah.
And it was a live show in New York, and they streamed it.
Yeah.
Still, regardless of, shows being back on.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
So maybe it's just going to spin off into another way. Well, I mean, they've always recorded live shows, but now I think it's more prevalent now than ever.
Well, there's a lot of good people doing it. I mean, there's I'm trying to think about that one YouTube channel that always has just random bands on, and they'll have one commentator viewing them, and they'll perform live. I can't think of it off the top of my head, but there's one place in Valdosta actually that I can think of, really cool creative space. It's ran by a guy named Alan Cifuentes. It's the DIY house there.
Okay.
And he live streams every single show that they have. And I mean, he hosts 3 to 4 bands, it seems like every 3 to 4 days.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
In his living room, which is the crazier part.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did a live stream Sunday Swerve. Shout out Sunday Swerve. But they do they told me that they might not be doing it anymore for the rest of the year just because of holidays and stuff.
Yeah.
And because now places are opening back up to do shows, they're thinking about kind of stepping back and maybe doing it like once a month. But they were doing it just about every week for the past like 2 years.
Yeah.
And they just get 1 or 2 electronic DJs and give them an hour, and they have a pretty decent following. But it was really interesting because it seemed like that was, if you did that, then you were kind of like accepted as a DJ in around this area.
It's almost like I hate to say it, but like a gatekeeper like kind of situation.
Kinda.
You got the key.
But no, it was interesting because I'd seen just the backdrop that they have, because I didn't even know what it was for the first year that I lived up here, and I just saw these folks playing there, and then I went there, showed up Sunday, and it's literally just in this dude's living room.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like really cool, you know.
Yeah, same concept, different feel.
Right.
Let me ask this real quick. I mean, I know I've known Bob for a hot minute. I've never asked you this question, but how did you start out like playing music originally?
I started out just for the love of playing drums is how I got to drums, I guess. But I started out in the church.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's a good place.
Yeah. Started out in like '89 is when I got my first kit.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And
Do you remember what kind of kid it was?
Tama.
Nice.
Yeah. Tama, whichever.
I think that's
how to say it. But yeah, that was my first kit. The Rock Stars, I remember that.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And, my mom had this Church of God that she went to, and of course, I went also, and just started playing. Somehow, I don't really remember how all that went down.
Yeah.
But I used to play for a gospel group, Sacred Heart, and I was always, listening and playing rock and roll at home, but didn't have a band, So
Yeah.
I was trying to keep my hands moving where I could.
When did you get in your first band then?
That was like '96.
Yeah.
That was the Barn Burners.
Cool.
Started playing in my grandma's old barn, and in our farm back in Jessup, or it's actually in Odom, Georgia, and we we practiced out there every Tuesday and Thursday.
Yeah.
And it was a barn built back in the 50s, and it had some extremely old wiring in it. And the first time we played electric, the next morning the barn burnt down. So that was it's a mystery of how all that happened, but I'm sure it was because of the equipment and all that.
Yeah.
Somehow, because it hadn't been used.
Yeah.
In a couple of decades, and then we go and start plugging stuff up and leaving it plugged up, and that's what happened.
Oh my gosh.
And then shortly after that, we had our first gig. We didn't have a band name, and one of the guys said, "How about the Barn Burners?" And we thought that was a great idea. My mom did not like it very much.
Yeah.
But yeah, I still play every once in a while with those guys.
Oh, that's cool.
Together, all of us together, never, but a couple. My cousin Pat Beasley, he's a guy I still play with.
Yeah.
Out of that, Rance Thomas, I still play with him occasionally. So.
Yeah. Where do you guys tend to make music? I mean, and if you are making music
Right now?
Yeah.
Oh, I have a building in my backyard.
Cool.
That's pretty much designated for that, and that's it's our practice space. We usually practice on Thursday nights.
Yeah.
Yeah. So COVID did wreck that for about, I'd say, a couple of months until it all settled down, and then we started, at least getting together again. But when COVID hit, when it got the weekend it got serious was the weekend we played the Swamptown Get Down in 2020.
Oh, really?
Because we were on a 3-day run, and Swamptown was our last gig of that 3-day run, and actually the one on Friday night got canceled. I can't remember where that show was, but anyway, and it was questionable whether Swamptown was going to go.
Yeah.
And it did. And so we just went ahead and played it, and but that was, and after that, everything started just completely shutting down.
Yeah. I remember when I was living in Valdosta and it started breaking down. Mm-hmm. It felt really surreal.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I just kind
I
of
couldn't believe it. It was hard to believe everything was actually stopping.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because for at least it felt like a whole month after that, initial point in March. Right. It felt like everything just kind of went out the freaking window.
I thought real estate was over for a while. I thought it was going to just completely come to a screeching halt.
Yeah, man, no more homes.
Yeah, and my phone, stopped ringing for about 2 weeks.
Wow.
And that was expected.
Yeah.
You know, and I thought that was the way it was going to be for months, but it started picking back up.
Yeah.
And to the point of, you know, like 2020 being an amazing year for everybody in real estate.
Yeah.
And it was really mind-boggling how that worked. And, you know, I mean, you know, just, and I never stopped. As soon as the phone started ringing again, we, you know, went for it. And, I mean, I would just put on a mask and go. And
Yeah, I mean, that's, I don't know. I mean, that's a good way to go about it.
yeah, I mean, I wasn't going to not go show property and work with buyers and sellers in the light of all that. But I just, you know, was careful. Just, you know, just not, you know, no more hugs, no more shaking hands.
Yeah.
All that had to stop. But, I mean, there was apparently ways around it because, as, you know, we've I was extremely lucky, thankful that we came through this without personally catching COVID and all that.
Yeah.
So I don't know how that happens, but
Yeah.
that I know of anyway. You know, there's all the asymptomatic stuff.
Yeah, no.
Policies,
I mean,
you know what I
and
mean?
that was the worst part about it, I think, was just the lack of answers, especially whenever it came to, you know, somebody being asymptomatic and carrying, somebody being symptomatic and carrying, or I don't know. It just made it extremely weird
It was
for a minute.
extremely weird. The flu disappeared in 2020, and now it's back in 2021. If somebody could explain that one to me, I would love to listen.
I would love to hear that.
Because I do not understand that part. My doctor actually personally told me, I mean, she's a doctor at Piedmont, and I asked her, you know, I was like, how was the flu for 2020? Basically non-existent.
Yeah.
Like 2 people come through. I mean, this is Piedmont. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I mean, how is that possible? This is only one doctor at Piedmont, of course, but still. I mean,
Yeah.
you go from raging cases to none. I mean, what? But anyway, I don't know how all that works. I had hand sanitizer in my truck before COVID,
Yeah.
and it's still there.
Attaway.
It's refilled a few times, but, you know.
What are some local venues that you probably play the most? I mean, I know, Bob, you probably got a handful of venues you play here in town locally. I've seen you at least at 3.
There's a few. I honestly, like, the last 6 months or so, me and the folks that I've been playing with, we've been trying to do more DIY stuff. And kind of like branch out from downtown. Because the thing with downtown and DJing is, if you play downtown, then
Do you feel like you need to play like downtown music?
pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much. You know, like you gotta cater to the folks, because most of the bars here, you know, they're concerned about the amount of sales. And
Yeah.
It seems that a lot of the bars, at least downtown, recognize that sales happen when a certain type of music is playing. But I don't really vibe with that. I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah. I mean,
But yeah, I mean, some of the venues though are really good. Let's see.
I agree with that.
do you have a similar experience?
Well, I mean, we play what we play, and, you know, maybe that's why we don't play more venues than we do. But
I feel you.
I mean, we play the Live Wire. Go ahead, Bob. I don't want to take your stuff.
Livewire is really good.
Yeah, Live Wire.
I played down there in June, I think. Volumes Hip Hop, they started doing shows again in summer, I think. And it was awesome turnouts for all those. But, yeah, we played Livewire. It was probably one of the best experiences playing a venue down here.
Yeah.
So I'd say Livewire.
Yeah, we love Live Wire. We love the Nowhere Bar. We played with Todd Coward at Hotel Indigo. It's a nice room down there.
Cool.
That room is awesome.
I've never seen it.
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
Where's it at in there?
In the basement.
Oh, they have a basement there?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Let's see, the Southern Brewery.
Yeah.
That's
Southern
great.
Brewery's cool.
Southern Brewery has, you know, done a lot for keeping music going. Period. During COVID, because they had the outside venue, and it's really good.
Yeah. I know they've hosted a few hip hop shows that you've played at there.
Yeah, I've only played one
Okay.
at Southern Brewing, but I do know that like a bunch of the hip hop promotion groups, if you will.
Yeah.
Like they'll do shows at Southern, and I know that Southern's pretty open to, or they're pretty I guess open to the hip hop scene here, which is welcoming. That's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah.
They have a wide variety.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Sort of like Athens itself. It's
Yeah.
a good representation of Athens as a whole, so I like it.
Yeah, that was one of the initial feels I got for it when I moved here this year.
Yeah.
I don't know, everybody seemed extremely accepting.
Yeah.
I guess it's because of the school. I don't know. You have like a good amount of young people coming through, like bringing new things to the area, I suppose.
Yeah, just as an artist, I think we're a little bit more open-minded to different genres of music and art and all that good stuff, you know. I mean, if you just had it one way, man, it'd be boring as hell, you know.
Oh, for sure.
I mean,
Definitely.
you know, if everything was Willie Whalen to me, it wouldn't be that great.
No, I don't know, man. Willie's pretty good.
Yeah, Willie's pretty good.
Any artists that you've been listening to lately? Speaking of, I don't know, Willie.
I'm a huge Willie fan, huge Whalen fan. I am very much I get stuck in, for a decade or so listening to the same thing, the Allman Brothers.
Yeah.
Panic, Dead, all that good stuff. But yes, Sturgill, a band called Parts and Labor out of Macon.
Oh, cool.
Got to see Billy Strings last week. He was pretty cool.
Where are they from?
Billy Strings is from Michigan.
Okay.
But he plays bluegrass.
Oh.
It's like, I guess it's a little on the jam band side of bluegrass or whatever.
Oh, that's cool.
But amazing musicians, all of them. Old Crow, Medicine Show.
They're really good. They've been around for a long time too.
But I'm a huge Driving and Crying fan. Love Athens music. When Casey brought up moving to Athens, I was like, sure. Didn't have any other
was no
ideas that
qualms.
were any better with that.
Yeah.
Than that one. So we was happy to come.
Any local artists for you that you've been checking out?
Local artists, definitely. Number one, Trevi. Trevi's I'd argue that he's one of the best, if not the best, rapper in Athens.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've been working around him for since I moved up here. Pretty much, his live performance is always amazing. Complete control of the crowd type thing. His music is great.
I saw you perform at the Iron Barbecue.
Iron Factory?
Excuse me. Yeah, the Iron Factory. And was he playing that night?
He might have been. I think we've done at least a couple Iron Factory shows this year.
Yeah.
Before COVID, there was a year and a half where just about every other show we were doing, every other hip hop show was at Iron Factory.
Yeah.
So they all kind of blend together. But the last one was really cool. I had put on my buddy John, his DJ name is Jig. He did an opening set.
Yeah.
It was really cool. It was my whole thing since I've been up here has been trying to bridge this gap between the electronic music scene and the hip hop scene.
Yeah.
And it seems like that show at least was kind of getting to that point.
Yeah.
But yeah, kind of went off on a tangent there. Trevi, definitely. Shameless James are a jam band here, and they're pretty good. I've yet to see them live. I know half of the guys in the band though, and I've listened to their music, recorded music. It's really good stuff. Really good stuff. Kudzu Samurai.
Is that the
really
name?
good. Yeah.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah. They're really good. I think they just have one now, but there was a period where they were running with two drummers.
What?
Like a full band and two drummers.
That's
It's
cool.
so sick. Me and my roommate, we had he was living at a different house at the time, but we threw a house show in our basement, and they came there, and it was both of the drummers just jammed together, and the band just in this corner. It was crazy. It was awesome. But yeah, they're all really good.
I can't think of any other. The only band that I can think of with two drummers that's done anything noteworthy is Slipknot.
Yeah.
They had two drummers?
They had one drummer and a whole mess of percussionists.
Yeah.
This started a long time ago, with the Allman Brothers, Charlie Daniels.
What, all them having like two drummers
yeah,
or
two
a drummer and
drummers.
like percussionists?
You know, two drummers, like straight up two drummers. The Allman Brothers had two drummers and a percussionist.
Really?
Yeah.
I
So
didn't know that.
yeah, so yeah.
That's a fun fact. A very fun fact.
So we
I would have known it.
we have two drummers. I play with Boone Hood on occasion.
Yeah.
All right, it's our bass player's son. He plays bass. He's a music major at UGA. He's a major in classical guitar, so he's
Oh, cool.
a very well-rounded young fella. And anyway, when his dad's there playing bass, he'll play drums with me. So you know, it's an experience. It is pretty great.
Speaking of music students, what about Chick's Music closing down, guys? Who's gonna have all the symphonic band instruments?
I think I hate to see it happen.
It's wild.
I bought a cajon from them back in. My wife bought it for me back in like '08,
Yeah.
and I mean, Chick Piano's been here since for decades.
That's
I
what
mean,
I-
a long time before I got to Athens.
You know, I talked to the owner, and he had said that they had a buyer for it at some point, and they had backed out pretty close to the end of their deal, and that's mainly the big reason they're retiring.
Yeah,
I hate to see it, because I mean, but whoever takes over the symphonic instrument rental game, holy moly!
Is that what they do?
Well, I mean, Chick's Music definitely did a lot of symphonic rentals and sales, from what I understand, for middle school, high school, the university.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I never really went in there. I mean, like, they're closing though, and that sucks because it's a local music shop that's closing.
Yeah.
well, I mean, Musicians Warehouse. Do they have all the whole brass section and everything for the high school kids and all that?
Are you talking about the place across the street from Nowhere Bar?
Yeah.
No, they don't have anything like that.
Okay. Well, yeah, they've been around for a long time too. The guy's name's Ed.
Yeah.
It used to be out on Atlanta Highway, and I think they had more locations than that. But, yeah, I don't know. I don't know who's going to supply that.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure Bob can attest to this. I mean, everything I get nowadays, I usually just get on the internet.
yeah.
As far as
Well,
equipment goes.
Probably a lot of the reason. I mean, that time. It's where the whole country or the whole world is shopping.
Yeah.
So yeah, let me go back. Allman Brothers only had Butch Trucks drummer, J Mo as percussionist and drummer, but so there's only two of them.
Yeah.
J Mo
Yeah.
did play drums and percussion, so I just wanted to go back, and they're not three drummers.
Oh no, I'm.
I
mean,
wanna,
either way, that's like super impressive.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, what year was the Allman Brothers founded? I suppose.
60, mid-60s, I think.
Yeah.
And I mean, they didn't have a great decade in the 80s, but the 90s really kicked it back off for them.
Yeah.
I mean, up until 3 years ago when Greg died, maybe 3 years ago,
Yeah.
or 4, they were going strong.
Yeah.
I've seen them 20 times probably. So,
Really?
oh yeah. Yeah, man, brothers, for sure. Absolutely.
That's sick.
And I recently found out Charlie Daniels had two drummers. That was very
Oh, wow.
impressive. Yeah, if you ever listen to some early Charlie Daniels,
Yeah.
it's amazing.
I wonder how many other bands had two drummers that I don't even know about now. Have you ever heard of a Rosington Collins?
No.
It's a band that was formed from some of the surviving members of Skynyrd.
Okay.
And it's essentially...
Oh, Rosington, that was one of the guitar players.
Yeah.
And what was the
Collins.
Collins, okay.
Yeah, they no, but to be honest with you, it sounded like Southern hair rock.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, it's really cool.
Nice.
It's one of my favorite bands ever. I mean, they put together a lot of stuff, but
Nice.
I don't know, just another band from that era. Rabbit Hole, who you've done a lot of stuff with.
Yeah.
I'd seen that they were performing at Porch Fest this year. Have you gone to Porch Fest any since you moved here? And
No, I missed it this year. I think it was just I didn't realize what was going on that day, or I had work or something.
it was pretty quick, because I think they were supposed to have Athfest beforehand, and then
Yeah.
they canceled it, and then
Yeah.
they said, okay, well, we're gonna do Porch, the Porch Fest instead.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was unfortunate they canceled Athfest this year.
Yeah.
I mean, it was, they had their playbook of how the numbers had to be to have it, and it was not there, so they couldn't do it as far as COVID and all goes.
Yeah.
But I mean, they have to have some type of guideline. You can't,
Yeah, for sure.
So.
I think
But anyway,
it was like
hopefully next year it'll be in full swing.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
I think it was like a series of permits or something that they had to get, and like whatever the last one was, they didn't get that one because of them or something like that.
But Athfest, we played that a couple of times, but it's been at Live Wires where we.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so that's we never played at the outside stages or anything.
Okay.
But always great to get a T-shirt with the Heart of Pine name on it.
Yeah, you haven't. I was thinking about it. And you didn't never. I don't think you had said the band that you played with is Heart of Pine. Yeah,
Heart of Pine.
And
Heart of Pine.
how did y'all come together?
Travis Richardson, the rhythm player, we went to Valdosta together. And he's from Thomaston, Georgia. And Stephen Bagwell, the lead singer, is also from Thomaston, Georgia. So Travis knew him from back in Thomaston. And, 18 years went by since I graduated from Valdosta. Travis moved up here, and we got together, started playing, and Stephen came. And, we found Burton Hood at Deadwood Guitars.
Yeah.
Well, Stephen and Travis found him. And we just started playing.
Yeah.
The three of us, Stephen, Travis, and I, we started out as the Wood Lane Gang.
The Wood Lane Gang?
Yeah, because we were practicing over at Travis's house on Wood Lane over on the east side. And then we were Muddy Water Revival, and everybody thought we were a blues band because it was Muddy Waters.
Yeah.
And became Heart of Pine.
Yeah. How long y'all been formed now?
2015.
Nice.
Yeah. So.
I've yet to get to see a show. Bob is not this Bob, our Bob. He's told me that he's seen you play a few times, and it's always been super rad.
Thanks, man. We really enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. Athens is a perfect place to be 47 years old and still in a band.
Yeah.
And still, have a real job. So thankful for it.
Yeah.
Well, Bob, anything that you had on your mind? I'm just kind of going at it now. I'm not even.
I don't know. Prompt me.
I have no prompts. I mean, we can look through this real quick. Oh, that is a good. I didn't actually think about that. Yeah.
Let's hear it.
You ready?
Yep.
Okay.
Let's go.
Knowing what you know now. Yeah. Hindsight's 20/20. Knowing what you know now, what would you have done differently with the formation of your band? How you started? Is there anything you would have done differently?
I don't know, because I started DJing when I was at Georgia Southern, and I had pretty much whenever I got there, I just started networking as hard as possible.
Yeah.
Like literally, it was like 2 days after I moved there, because I'd started producing the year before, taking it seriously, and so whenever I got to Georgia Southern, I just, all right, we're gonna meet as many rappers and producers as possible.
Yeah.
And I did just that. And so I just had it going on, and then kind of honed in on that a little bit, and then shortly after started DJing, and then I've been kind of taking the same approach since, just meet as many folks as possible, and
it helps
most of the successes I've had in the career of DJ Bobfish has just been a product of that, and coming through with a good set or a good song or whatever I'm needed for,
Yeah.
So I don't really know what I would do different, because I have played. So I was in marching band in high school and middle school, or no, I was in band in middle school and marching band in high school, and sometimes I do regret quitting band because I was in marching band for 2 years and then I quit.
Yeah.
But I feel like it was kind of necessary because I quit, I started producing music and DJing because I didn't necessarily have that outlet. I mean, we were in the band.
Yeah, we were in a band.
Yeah. And so that was shortly after I had quit band. So I just had all these other outlets that I was like expressing my desire for music. And so I don't know. I feel like everything up to this point is kind of worked out the way that it needed to for me to get here. You know what I mean?
Well, that's good to be able to say.
Yeah, it's interesting, serendipitous. You know.
Yeah. What about you, man?
Oh, what would I have done differently?
I mean, if you would have.
Yeah, Bob, we have that in common for sure. I probably wouldn't have quit band in middle school.
Yeah, okay, sure.
I'm sure there was a lot that I didn't pick up, but I could say I wish I would have moved to Athens sooner and all this, but where I'm at right now, with my job and with music and everything and the guys I'm playing with, I couldn't be happier.
Yeah.
So I feel like I've achieved it's so far definitely what we needed to do, and it's very fulfilling and very thankful to still be doing it. Because I know a lot of people that I've known through the years that are not, and for whatever reason, and
I mean,
I still get to do it.
Yeah, I mean, between all of us, I'm sure we could say we know tons of musicians who start and they never, they start, maybe they have a little run at it, maybe they quit playing music for whatever reason, they put it on the back burner.
Oh yeah.
I mean, things are going to happen, man. My wife is totally supportive of it. I have 2 kids, and I still get to do it, and it's largely because of her and her support with it. So
yeah,
I'm thankful and happy to be here.
Any advice that you would give to new musicians in our area that want to play, that maybe don't know how to book shows? Maybe they, just need what's a piece of information you were given at some point?
Man, just keep networking, keep playing, never stop playing.
Yep.
That's the most important part. Networking, it seems when you get with the right group of people, things start happening.
Yeah.
And sometimes I think that is the hardest part because it can take forever.
Oh, for sure.
And and if you're not with the right group of people, you're doing things in a mindset maybe that's not right for you or whatever, but just stay true to what you do and keep trying.
Yeah, I mean that's all you can try to do, right?
Yeah.
And if you got people who support you, will put up with your BS, or they'll put up with you as a person or listen to your ideas.
Right.
I mean that's super helpful. I'm lucky to have people like that in my life as well.
God. Yeah, me too.
Any advice you'd give to any local artists or DJs, Bob? You're a local artist or DJ.
Yeah, if you're a local rapper, producer, DJ, hit me up at DJ Bobfish on everything. Anyway, it's one of the biggest things for me. It was knowing people because I had gigs lined up here before I had even moved up here. But which was really weird. Basically, so I was at Georgia Southern for 3 years after I graduated high school, and I had one of mine and my brother's mutual friends, Daniel Sinclair. Shout out Daniel Sinclair. He had came to Waycross for, I can't remember what it was. Mm-hmm. It might have been one of the Swamp Town Get Downs or Grand Parsons or something.
Yeah.
But he brought his friend Petey Blanco. Shout out Petey Blanco. And we all had a good time. We had partied one night or something, and then we ended up back at the Waffle House right next to the stadium in Waycross, and we were all just hanging out, and we started talking about music, and then Petey said, because I don't know if he lived up here, but he knows a lot of the people that I work with in the hip-hop scene. And, he's telling me all about this, and I'm still in Statesboro. I don't know any of these people. And my brother and Daniel are telling him that I'm a producer and started DJing and stuff. And he's like, yeah, man, anytime you come up to Athens, you need to hit us up or, let me know.
Yeah.
And so whenever I finally moved up here, Sam Lipkin, also known as Scrap God, she runs Volumes Hip Hop. Shout out Scrap God. I had a show up here before I'd moved, and with one of my buddies, and Jay Wing, that's his name, Joshua Wongren. Also shout out Joshua Wongren. Sorry, I'm taking this moment to shout out all the homies.
No, man, go for it.
Anyway, yeah, Joshua had me up here for shows, DJing for him, and Sam, she was organizing the show, and so it was the first time that I met her. And turns out, I guess, Petey, sometime before that, because we had this time that I had hung out with Petey and Daniel was in like 2016, and then in like 2018 I had this show. Yeah. And meet Sam, and she's like, hey, I've heard a lot about you, and apparently you're the guy to hit up if I need a good DJ for a show. And I said, yeah, I'm moving up here in like 2 weeks. She said, all right, go back to Statesboro. She hits me up like a few days later.
Oh, wow.
Lined something up for me, and then did that show after I moved up here, and they liked it. And so it's
just been going with it?
Yeah, pretty much.
Wow.
Yeah. It's very serendipitous, like I said earlier.
Yeah.
It's interesting how it's worked out, but pretty
well, before we go, Kurt, would you care to tell us where people can find you on the internet and listen to Heart of Pine, all that good stuff?
Absolutely. Heartofpine.com for one, and then, of course, probably the best is Facebook.
Love it.
Page, Heart of Pine. We have swag for sale. We have CDs for sale.
Oh,
we got,
nice.
Downloads, all that good stuff. Our lead singer, Stephen Bagwell, does a really good job at keeping that page going.
Yeah.
And fresh and all that. And future tour dates. That's what we like to do. We love to play, man. So
yeah.
That's where you can find us.
Excellent. Bob?
Yeah, pretty much all social media except for Facebook. It's at DJ Bobfish. I had a formatting error with my Facebook page, and it was causing this huge ongoing thing of people spelling my name wrong.
Oh, yeah. I remember you posting about that, I think.
Yeah, it's been an ongoing thing. It's DJ Bobfish, lowercase, all together, one word. Now it's on the record of me saying that.
I'll make sure to get links from you so that everybody can see it.
Yeah.
But
I'm on Spotify and SoundCloud too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Spotify, Apple, iTunes. We're also there.
Damn.
Yeah.
Well, good job, guys, and thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
I'm certain to have more hosts soon in the future. This has been Athens Talk, hosted by Greater Athens Property. Thank you again, and have a blessed day, y'all.